comments over to you on the game, then we'll take the questions.
Well, what an incredible atmosphere. And it seems like we say the same thing over and over each time we come in here, but our fans are by far the best in the country. And this is why you come to UGA. When you get an opportunity to play in an atmosphere like that, in an environment like that, it was really incredible. You don't really know what's inside you in life or football till you get tested. And I thought we got tested tonight. We found out a lot about our team. We're far from perfect, and we got to get a lot better. But they'll fight you, man. They'll fight you over and over again. And there were some really large hearts out there tonight. One, DeAndre Swift, who ran the ball with passion, guts, and just relentless effort. The effort and leadership of a Jake Fromm to third down scramble and take 2 hits and almost get a first and manage the game really beautifully. And then the defense to rise up and keep playing past a bunch of injuries, a couple injuries on offensive line, and I'm just proud of our guys, man. So much emotion in that locker room, so much effort, and really hate for Notre Dame, who has an unbelievable team and played a great game, to have to lose that game.
Kirby, you're making adjustments at halftime, the offense. Jake said you start picking up the blitz a little better than what we said about the second half.
I don't know that it was picking up the blitz. It was making sure we had some space to run the ball. They were extremely aggressive playing the run, and I think they felt like they had to. That was their shot, to contain the run, stone the run, and they were playing downhill fast, extra guy in the box, and we really weren't able to make them pay for that early. Where in the second half, loosened them up a little bit, opened things up a little bit more, went a little more tempo when we had a chance, and basically wore them down. I mean, we were able to run the ball better because we had been running the ball, and I thought our conditioning played a major favor in that game as the game went on.
Coach, what was going on with their tight end number 84? He was having a lot of success there at the beginning.
A hell of a player. There's nothing going on with him. He's a great player, and when you're running boots, nakeds, waggles, all kinds of things, that guy's a phenomenal player. There's nothing going on with him. He was just a good football player, and they were targeting him a lot. If you noticed later in the game, they tried to target him, and we had 2 or 3 pass breakups on him.
Kirby, Jake made a number of plays on third down tonight. Could you talk about his response in those situations, and then also particularly the touchdown pass where you were?
Yeah, he played really well. I mean, I thought that he managed the game, and there were some times the shot clock was down on him, the play clock, and we always talk about with this kid, you got to give him a chance to work. You got to let him make decisions, and we didn't do that real well tonight. We didn't allow him the time to do what he does best, and we got to do a better job managing that as coaches. But I mean, Jake takes things that are broke and fixes them. He makes wrongs right, and I'm glad he's on our team because he's a leader. He's a commander-in-chief. I mean, the guy makes good decisions.
Even on the second play, can you talk about your secondary corner being tested like that?
Hang on, the second question was about Cager on the third down, the throw. Yeah, I mean, he didn't check anything. I mean, he knew where to go with the ball versus that look, and I mean, if you max blitz him, I'm not gonna say he's gonna make you pay because you still got to win one-on-one, but he knows where to go with the ball, and he sees all those same pressures and coverages every day in practice from us, so he's not easily fooled by things. Yeah, that was tough. I mean, if you told me the one spot we couldn't afford to lose somebody at that point, it was that one. And, I don't know. He came back in the game and played later, but I just don't know if he was 100% or not. It was a tough call whether to put him back in there. He wanted to go back in, and he did go back in and give him a blow, but I thought we were playing pretty good defensively, and we had rhythm. So we, had Tyrique in there and DJ.
What has Divaad Wilson done to put him in the position that he was in this evening to have the game he had?
He works hard. Divaad's a talented player that loves football. He works every day. He understands coverages and leverages real well, and made a big play tonight.
After injuries to the O-line, how big of a boost was it that Isaiah Wilson came on and did what he did?
It was big for us. I mean, we felt like he was. We couldn't tell. We practiced a little bit. He didn't get to do a lot during the week, and then pregame warm-ups, he looked pretty good, but he had not gone against fast people, and we were a little worried about putting him in there. But then we felt like we needed to at the half, and Sam made a good call to put him in there. And I can't tell you how he played or how the other guys played. I have to watch the tape.
Is there anything else
much you could say about Rodrigo Blankenship. Those kicks ended up being just huge.
It's clutch. I mean, Mr. Consistency, and it's a pleasure to have it. I mean, it's like Jake. You go through your life coaching, and you may only have one or two Rodrigos, and he's clutch, and he loves it, and he wants to be in the limelight. He wants to have the pressure on him.
Coach, so when you look at the last drive offensively for Notre Dame, so what can you say about how your team kind of handled the end stretch there, and did you see some similarities from 2017 in terms of how you guys had to stop it in order to secure the win?
Yeah, there were some similarities there. I didn't think about it that way. I just, kept telling Dan stay aggressive, and he did. You got to make a decision at that point. Am I going to give up one, or am I going to come after him? And we were able to get a couple incompletions with pressures, and then got him to fourth down where we had an opportunity to win the game. And I thought Nolan and Jermaine looked like they broke through there on that play, and our depth helps us. I mean, we play a lot of players on defense, and when you're fresh in the fourth quarter, it looked like that we were fresher than they were in the fourth quarter, and was able to disrupt them offensively in the end.
Kirby had 6 or 7 false start penalties tonight. How important do you think the crowd was in sort of aiding?
Oh, unbelievably important. I mean, you think about that game, you think about the botch snap on the one drive. I mean, they impacted the game tonight more than I've ever seen a game impacted, not only here but anywhere, where they just affected the game with the false starts and the different things, and it burnt their timeouts. It's a different game if they're calling timeout at the end of the game to get the right play, right personnel, maybe get guys fresh. And now they don't have them, and the clock's running because they burned them earlier because of the crowd noise caused them to. So it was definitely the 12th man today, and we certainly needed it.
Kirby, how huge is it for you guys to be tested like this? What does that mean for you going forward with the rest of these 8 games?
Well, like I said, I think when you get tested, you find out something about yourself inside. You look inside yourself when you're getting tested, and there were some guys that had to look inside themselves. So they had not been tested like that, and how are they going to respond? And they came out fighting. We showed the guys Matt Hughes, Frank Trigg UFC fight, and in the end of the fight, he says, you're never out of the fight. You're never out of the fight. He came back from having been down and almost in a submission position, and he just said, you're never out of the fight. And that's what we talked about all week. We were never out of the fight. And then at halftime, we knew we weren't out of the fight. The whole game, our kids kept saying, you're never out of the fight.
You had some players after this game talking about how you left some stuff out there. Maybe it wasn't the cleanest game for them, but at the same time, they said they're built for this type of game, four-quarter thing. What do they mean by that?
Well, I think that's what we want to be. We want to be a dominant team in the fourth quarter. We want to try to break people's will. We want to be able to take over the line of scrimmage, which at the end of the day, when you look at the rushing yards, we won the line of scrimmage. I mean, it was they didn't run the ball real well on us in 152 to 46. So that's what this team's built on. Now, we've got to be able to do other things, and it keeps coming back to that. But I think we're built to do that.
Solomon was injured, I guess, you're going to cross it there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Shaffer filled in for him.
Yeah. Shaffer came in and did a nice job. You remember Shaffer got Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, and, we wanted to play him some more last week, and, we're very fortunate that when Sally went down, there's a guy that can step in there and go play, and I don't know how he played. He had a personal foul penalty that wasn't very smart that hurt us, but he plays hard. He plays very similar to Sally, passion, energy, and toughness, and I thought he stepped right up, and as several guys did.
Can you talk about back after the bye week?
So what?
Back after the bye week.
What about the bye week?
Tyson Campbell.
Oh, I have no idea, man. I mean, Tyson Campbell's day to day. I can't tell you if he's going to be back or not.
The trust that Jake has earned with you and the coaches, is it the same for J.R. Reed and his presence out there and his knowledge?
Absolutely. I mean, he was the human eraser. He had 2 or 3 plays that were going to be explosive plays. He gets a guy on the ground because it's about to break out. We busted a coverage, and then, he makes the pick that really changed the whole environment of the game, and he makes big plays.
You talked about Ian Book all week, and he used a lot of Houdini, a lot of different things. What did you think seeing him in action today?
He's very athletic, very intelligent, hard to finish on, makes really good decisions with the ball. I mean, he causes problems because he can scramble and run, and especially as you get tired and your rushers aren't fresh, I mean, he can take off and get 20 yards a clip.
When Cater goes in the transfer portal, do you remember the conversations you had with Cole about him since he really recruited him in terms of what he could bring to the program?
Yeah, I recruited cage to Alabama, and he came on several visits, and I had a good relationship with him. Coley ended up getting him. Hartley knew him well, and I mean, it was a no-brainer for us. I mean, paint the picture. You can go play with a quarterback that's played in a place that's deficit of receivers. I mean, it was a great match.
Even with Rodrigo's consistency, did you at all consider going forward on quarterback?
Yeah, I wanted to, and I didn't realize how far it was. I thought when they went back and reviewed it, I thought it was going to be inches, and then once we looked out there and said that thing's almost a full yard, we just went with the points and said, hey, we're playing good defense. We felt like they had to score 2 touchdowns to beat us, and that ended up being the difference in the game. But that's one of those. All you guys could second guess me if they scored a touchdown. Why didn't you go for it? So that's the life we lead, and it's a tough call because you got to feel comfortable you can get a yard when you have to.
It seemed like in the first half when you guys got third down, dialed up some pressure, they had the perfect call on and picked up some of those. How frustrating is that as a coach, and how did you guys adjust to it?
What were they on third down? I think they were like 30% on third down. So our goal is to be 70% off the field. I came off the field feeling like we played pretty good on third down. They hit us on one coverage. We had a bust between miscommunication between 2 guys. But outside that, I don't know that the other ones were short yardage conversions, which they got a high probability of. But I thought we played good on third down.
What did you make of the way how sort of physical Demetris sort of seemed to run tonight? I know he didn't have a lot of long breakout runs, but he sort of seemed to keep turning.
Yeah. He's a physical dude. I mean, he played with passion, heart, and courage of a champion, and he took some ownership in the team, and he had just as much impact on that sideline talking to people as he did on that field carrying that ball, and that's what it's all about.
Please, for D-Rob Kirby, where he came back and made some big catches.
Yeah, I thought D-Rob had it. The one over the middle, the little bender, he and the guy were kind of 50-50, and he won that battle for the ball, and that was big for us.
Is the open date at a good time? You knew you were getting 2 of them this year.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that open day comes at the right time. It's best that it comes after a win because it was a long open date last year. So it makes that part much better. But look, whether we won or lost this game, we still had big games to play and we still control our own destiny. I still think that doesn't change. We just got a lot of glaring things we got to work on to get better. But I got a lot of respect for their football team and their football program.
Did Camarda miss it sometimes?
No, I don't know. I mean, kid didn't hit a great punt, but we picked him up. We got his back, and he's an unbelievable punter. He just didn't hit great punts tonight, and he'll go back to the drawing board, and we'll keep getting him better.
You talked about turnover margin earlier this week.
Yeah.
Those 2 turnovers in the second half, particularly Divaad to take on that first shot.
Huge. I still don't know that we had him covered. I mean, it was, you'll have to be the judge and look at it. It was more he handed it to us than we just took it because it hit him and he had the first and it ricocheted off. So some of that's luck. But 2 turnovers to, I guess, R1, is that correct? So if you beat them in the penalty war and the turnover margin, I think we had studied they had like 27 straight games where they had not lost the turnover battle, or they had not lost a game that they didn't lose the turnover battle. I think the last time is they tied us in the turnover margin the last time they played and lost. So it was just emphasized over and over this week about beating them in the turnover margin. And we couldn't get a fumble off of them, and we tried, but we did get the 2 picks.
Sanford Stadium now has special effects like never before. What did you kind of think of that, and how much were you kind of paying attention to all that? I know you got a game.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was worried the power went out a couple times. I didn't blink. As long as my headphones worked, I was good.
2 more questions?
Any special reason why you didn't go to Pickens more in the first half? He had single coverage, it looked like.
Yeah, it might look like it, but it wasn't always single coverage, and there were some things they were doing, creating some problems for us. They did a good job mixing things up front, and to be honest with you, George is continuing to improve, and we want to go to George every opportunity we get. George has to be the complete player. He blocked really well tonight, did some good things tonight. We tried to go to him in the end, but in the beginning, they didn't present us an opportunity to do that a lot, and it's not one-on-one like you think when it's quarters.
Last question, anybody?
Kirby, I don't know how many snaps Tyrique McGhee got in the first few games, but to keep him invested and you need him to come through, is that kind of what you expected for a senior, I think?
Yeah, Tyrique McGhee is, he's from Peach County, where they make you hard and soiled, and you hit every day at practice. It's one of the toughest, most physical schools in the country or our state. Kieris is from there. The kids you get from there are just tough as nails, and this kid has been through so much. He started last year. He wouldn't start, and he's had injuries, and he's very bought into the team. He'll do whatever you ask, and this week we told him we were down corners. If somebody gets hurt, you may have to play. Instead of repping at star and safety, we're going to put you at corner, and he took reps at corner, and he went in the game and played. He's played other games at corner, and he hasn't always played exactly perfect, but he's a winner, he's a fighter, and he's a senior, and that's why you have depth in your program. Because if you don't have that depth, then you may have a bigger drop-off at that position, and it could be the difference in the game. Look, guys, thanks a lot for the coverage, and this was an awesome game atmosphere. Go Dogs.